Welcome and season's greetings to Two Balls and a Mic. We are back here on a Monday after an incredibly eventful soccer-filled weekend here locally in San Diego, kind of bled into the weekday. We're going to start with San Diego Wave, the home opener, the record-breaking home opener for San Diego Wave, 31,000 plus in attendance. They win 3-2 against Chicago Stars. We're going to go ahead and talk about that breakdown. The first time you and I sit in a press box to watch a game together during this.
Yeah.
Everything good?
Everything's great.
Absolutely. Huge win for the Wave. They move on to NC Courage. And then we also have Two Balls underway. Well, we're going to go ahead and discuss San Diego Loyal allowing Sacramento to defeat them. The previously undefeated in a whole 2 games. San Diego Loyal lose and suffer their first goal away. We're going to break down that goal, the poor marking, the things that went down. Ebi Akan looks like he had a injury of some sorts. I guess they had a little bit more specificity, but we'll get into all that. San Diego Sockers, I did the commentary over there, but also on that same time frame, you went to watch your favorite team, your 2 favorite teams, El América y Los Cholos,
my 2 favorite teams,
playing at Snapdragon Stadium. That was cool. We did UPSL commentary. Let's start with UPSL commentary.
Man, that was
So, like, you know, we get out there. This is
We're out there in all
San
levels.
Diego. Check out soccer in San Diego. San Diego Soccer. San Diego Punto Futbol. As now you know, you have to know. If you don't know, get familiar.
exactly.
San Diego Punto Futbol, part of the tapestry of it is the tapestry of soccer in San Diego. Anybody can kind of, if you really want to get involved, think about doing some content of your own, this is a place for you. We also, where we house San Diego Football Weekly, which is when we have a guest coming on in. This has been Ryan for the past couple of weeks, and he has some eyes on him. So he has some thoughts about what he has said. We have thoughts on what is essentially pretty much, you know, I guess breaking news. There was breaking news. Also, I think the most important part of that conversation yesterday, and it tells me where people are at with maybe listening to our stuff, or like they want to listen. Obviously, I put that as the little nugget to like
Yeah. There you go.
MLS in December. It's happening. I mean,
It's happening.
it certainly looks like it, especially after this last weekend where you have San Diego Wave, who 32. What was it? What was the actual exact number?
31,854.
Oh boy, 31,854. What a memory of yours. That is fantastic that you have that off the top of your head. But essentially, we didn't know if we were going to be credentialed. We will get into like the shenanigans of all this, including right before going to the latest state-of-the-art stadium for soccer in Southern California. But could potentially now going to house Manchester United versus Wrexham.
That's huge. Too. That's
We were out
very
there.
huge. Yeah.
We had our intern there. Couldn't make it
Our
out there.
intern.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, not him.
No, yeah. Miguelito. Exactly. Yeah. On sync. We didn't even practice that.
Elijah, real quick, speaking of Miguelito, you know, the dude is so cool. We interviewed him last week with his
Yeah.
time. His phone died twice in the middle of it. It was great. The dude was cooking. It was in the middle of the night. The
we
time that he
held
had,
him to eat his food cold, and I felt bad.
he was very okay
Se le
with
enfrió la
like, I was
comida,
just like, you
güey.
know what? No, it's all good. And he came back. So hopefully you enjoyed his efforts on that one, because it was a good conversation. But he, after, like, good dude. Like, I guess he was talking about, we were talking off air just a little bit about where he was living, the apartment situation, that there was this kid next door who would always see him and be like, Elijah.
Exactly. It just so happens that kid works in the
works?
program. Oh, he is joined the program that I work for, or that I run for the association that I work for. That starts with the letter Y. And you know, I think it connected when I said, "Does that dog have 3 legs?"
Yeah, that's
And he's like,
is
"You
it-
know what? Yes." And I said, "Oh man, I just saw that puppy yesterday."
And
Give him a
so,
shout out.
Yeah,
It was
give him a
great.
shout
It was
out
great.
after. It was
So-
really cool to see that, and ultimately, like, he's a good dude. But yeah, check that out. We'll talk about a little bit more of that after Two Balls Underwood. But essentially, the San Diego Wave,
They had their home opener and
Yeah.
their season opener for them.
excellent
And,
stuff.
You know, they announced already a record-breaking number when they sold 25,000 tickets. And
Yeah.
that was already going to be a record on its own.
Yeah.
Then towards the game, they announced the total attendance, and it was 31,854. There was more people in the opening for Snapdragon last season,
Okay, yes.
but
Yes.
this is the season opener, and it's
Yeah.
still a record that they broke in the NWSL. So that's still huge. This team is just literally breaking records.
Yeah.
So I mean, the possibilities are endless for this team, but I don't know what else you want to add. I mean, the whole experience was pretty cool.
So I was saying this is the first time that you and I ever sit down in a press box,
Yeah.
both credentialed.
So it's going to
and
be a little
watching a
different,
game.
right?
Yeah.
Because NWSL's starting very strict rules, following kind of MLS, where you're
Yeah.
only allowed to record the first 15 minutes of each half. So
Yeah.
it really limits to what we can do vlog-wise, which essentially it's taking us in a different pathway of what we want
Yeah.
to do for San Diego Wave. So
There'll still be opportunities for that.
Mhm.
But,
that's going to be like special occasions.
but really,
type
honestly,
videos.
what I enjoyed about being in the press box, I'm like, I can see the shapes better, which is obvious. O sea, obvi.
Sí,
Pero, o
porque
sea,
estás
like,
más arriba.
I like being there. I like seeing the game speed up close just
Yeah, yeah,
because, like,
yeah.
I'd be like, ese tiro, yo lo tapo. Come on. Like, come on, Koke. Like, that goal shouldn't have gone in. Come on,
I mean,
Sheridan.
the
that
whole
first
experience
goal.
of just
oof.
watching from the press box as well. I mean, by the way, I thought there was going to be more people in the press box, which just shows again the amount of people that are going to be covering the team this season. But anyways, for a big part, they had food for us. You know, they actually treated media with respect, as they should. And they had hot dogs and big sausages that you really enjoyed.
I love me a good snappy sausage.
Yeah.
And it was delectable, delicious. Honestly, like the food that it's great. Like
Yeah.
I'll take
You,
I
no,
will
Your
take-
favorite part is the unlimited sodas.
Yeah,
That
the
is your
diet,
favorite
Diet
part.
Pepsi, absolutely, and the waters are fantastic. Little perks, right? In Tijuana, if you go to TJ and Caliente and you're in the press box, they have unlimited Mexican Coke, and it's the reason why I'm gonna lose a leg. But
Well worth it.
damn right. But no, definitely a matchup where you have this team coming in. They had a good preseason. The preseason.
Recording in progress.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
boy, you're recording in progress,
That's
boy.
awesome.
Oh, seasons.
But yeah, but San Diego Wave, obviously, let's talk about the game, right?
Yeah.
Like the whole experience is great, but let's talk about the starting lineup, which is still a very solid lineup that they put out, especially when you have kind of like a similar backline from last season. So you start out with Kaylin Sheridan. You have Westphal, who played almost every single minute of the NWSL last season. Kylie Rio, Naomi Girma, and Kristen McNabb. Solid backline. It's essentially what you had last season. Van Ekman, who is still a machine at the
Elite.
sixth position.
Elite.
Position.
Position.
And then you join her with Calabrico, who's playing against a rival. And every time you play your old team,
Yeah.
it's emotional. And it's you kind of always want to play your best against your old team.
Yeah, I mean, depending if you left on good terms, like, well, this is what you like left, or this if it's on bad terms, sometimes that's even the best. Then again, you have Howard, Darcher Howard, who I haven't really seen a lot of. So seeing her play in that position, and Casey said it too, like this is a lineup where there's some players that she knew they weren't going to be able to give her
Yeah.
the full 90, and
She was one of them.
She was one of those players. Calaprico as well started to cramp earlier in that matchup as well. But then you rounded it out with Shaw Morgan and Mira Ali, who has been the stellar player so far leading into preseason. She scored twice in the last game that they had.
In their preseason scrimmage. Because you can't call it a preseason match, apparently. But, or friendly, was it? No, not friendly. Preseason match. But,
Question
anyways.
here: did I wear a Hawaiian shirt yesterday? Yes, I did. Special occasions.
Yeah.
It was a good
all
one
the time.
too. You missed it, Puma. You should have gone.
Yeah.
You should have gone.
Con el pinche frillazo también.
It was cold. It was a poor
Dude,
choice.
it's so
It
cold
was
at
a
in the
poor
press box. It was
choice.
cold yesterday as
Terrible.
well. There, it's
Terrible.
in that press box. They need a heater. They need a heater there. But Amir Ali.
Wait, who are you? Oh, the food is excellent. I have a standard. You know, other places they don't even feed us
They need to
anymore.
heat it. They need
They
to heat it.
starve us. They throw water bottles on the floor, and no, they like open it and they just like throw us on the ground, like lick it off the ground. Yeah, está el chivo.
Como perrito from a bottle.
It's gonna be $17.
Yeah, but I mean, this was a win, 3-2 win for San Diego Wave, and it was a very entertaining first half where you know they're kind of knocking on the door, and then Chicago just scores on them out of nowhere, and you mentioned that, and that was your question to Casey, like you're kind of knocking on the door, and then you get scored on, but then you're kind of able to rally up and tie the game, eventually take the lead. And do you want to tell us a little bit about that, like how they kept on pressing, they kept on knocking on the door, and the goals eventually came.
Yeah, they did, and not only did they eventually come in, they came in from important places, right? So overall, at the end of the game, you get Jaden Shaw, you get Mirelli, you get Alex Morgan, Penn Alex returning.
Yeah.
Penn Alex returns to Snapdragon, and so you know whenever you have your attacking players scoring, something that it might seem, you know, simple to like, what? Yeah, of
It
course,
makes
that's what they're for. But it's
in the same game
harder.
to have your 3 starting like attacking players score, like essentially it's a good thing. And that's kind of what Casey said, right? Where she wants to just not have a few players. She's been wanting that since last season, where she doesn't want just Alex Morgan to score. She wants a variety of players to score. You know what? Kind of like the Sockers. When you see their scoring sheet and you see a bunch of different players scoring, essentially that's what the coach wants. And I mean, Amira Ali is going to be a weapon if she can stay healthy.
Yes.
Casey Stoney talked about it last season. She struggled with injuries and being able to put in at 60 minutes plus on the game. So the fact that she played almost 70 minutes in this game said a lot, and she scored. And just watch out for Amira Ali this season, because she even said it. She feels like a completely different player.
And we're actually gonna in talks to possibly get Amira Ali on with us. But yeah, so this is how this goal came about, right? So you have a shot from outside the box. They were shooting. They were trying to create some chaos. That's kind of the first Chicago goal came about. It's always in the NWSL, chaos in the box usually means danger. And you know, with this great shot from outside of the box, keeper parries it, and then just like it doesn't put any power, and it just kind of stays in that same area, hits the crossbar, and then Amira is just able to come in, just head it on. Right place, right time. So
Exactly. It's one of those goals where you have to know where to be. I mean, yeah, you got a little lucky as well that the goalkeeper made that mistake, but you have to take advantage of the mistake. I mean, you'll hear me often say where you have to take advantage of mistakes, and that's essentially how you're going to win most of your soccer games. But that's exactly what happened. And I mean, props to Chicago's Red Stars, because they honestly dominated this game, especially in the second half. They have most of the possession here in this game with, 52% possession. And, I mean, they have 15 shots, 6 on target. So, essentially, they did pressure more, and they did play a little better. And we heard it from Casey as well, where it wasn't their best performance, and she wasn't happy with how they played.
she wasn't happy with the performance.
She wasn't.
He wasn't happy with the performance in the victory.
She was not.
That is
I mean, it's not
novel.
enough.
That is a novel thought in the city of San Diego when it comes to soccer.
It absolutely is. And
Man, I always thought performance was what we cared about. I mean, sure, they got the win, right? They got 3 goals. You know, 3 attacking players
she
scored, and
cares
they got
about
3
performance,
points.
but I mean,
Wow,
even in the
I've
win,
never
like
thought about it that way.
she wasn't like super happy about it, right? Because you want to win while playing good. But I mean, yeah. So Jaden Shaw scores as well off a corner kick. She gets the rebound. I kind of told you, like, when she got the rebound, I told you this is a goal. She's not missing this, and she just shoots a rocket past the goalkeeper, a little bit outside the box, and like en la media luna, and just she's the future, dude. Like, you have one of the best players in the world with Alex Morgan, and then you have literally what could be one of the best players in the near future. She's 17 years old. And the fact that she's already making the big impact in matches like this says a lot.
And the fact she's getting a start, right? Like
Yeah.
that's crazy in of itself, right? Obviously, they also signed 15-year-old Barcenas.
Yeah.
So it's a really interesting balance where they have these players in the starting lineup that are essentially novices, that are essentially rookies to the league, and it's crazy how you can just jump from the college game into the professional game. Some of
From
these
the high
players,
school game.
yeah, I mean, some of these players are coming off and just lighting everything on fire in the NWSL. You have um, the newest signing also being the first, I think, anoto por Angel City.
Mm.
You have Germa, who also, hey, you forget she was just drafted last year.
Yeah,
She
exactly.
was just drafted last year. It got down also 2-1, the 45th minute. There was 8 minutes of added time, something that the crowd appropriately gassed at. Like one of the only times that the reaction from the crowd, other than a goal or a chance,
Mhm.
is appropriate. Um, but yeah,
She
so
got a
Sheridan
hand on it too.
got a hand on it. Guessed right, but just couldn't have enough power on that side to have it just go to the side. You see it here. Pass. God.
Man, it just goes to show that they do their homework when it comes to penalties. And she said it before in press conferences. I mean, the foul was, in my opinion, a little soft. They did go to VAR check for the penalty,
Mhm.
and it ended up being a penalty. By the way, the referee was the same referee that ref the USL match, the playoff match against Loyal in Oakland last season. So a lot of us know how that turned out with 3 red
Yeah,
cards in
and
like
now
minutes.
and now give this dude technology to worry about with VAR. It was gonna
Yeah.
be a shit show, regardless. Um, but yeah, eventually the game in the second half is tight. Korniak comes in and just like a bull in a china shop, just starts knocking people down. I'm glad Kelsey Turnbow wasn't on the field long with Korniak because she
Mhm.
was probably gonna get knocked down as well.
Yeah.
It's just the way it goes. Handball here, penalty, and I mean it's you just know at this point that Alex Morgan's probably gonna slot it in. Um, and so begins Pen Alex.
She like so calmly shot too. It's a great
it's a
penalty.
really good penalty.
Like really not much power to it, but it's just placed perfectly. Which, at the end of the day, that's really. I mean, I prefer power because
I'd
I think it's
argue
easier.
I'd argue this goalkeeper did more and was closer to stopping her penalty than Sheridan was. But it's just so
think
well slotted.
Sheridan, yeah, this was slotted perfectly, but I think Swanson's penalty kick was just a little stronger,
Yeah.
more power behind it, which essentially made it difficult for Sheridan because she kind of got a hand on it. It's just
Yeah.
it was too strong of a shot. This was just placed perfectly.
So I think she jumps a little bit just too much to the left because she
Mhm.
gives Morgan the chance that, oh, I'm going to go ahead and give you the right side, all the right side, and I'm going to start hopping to one side. But I know in my heart of hearts I'm going to dive there already. So I think she just gets caught up a little bit, a little dive right there.
Yeah.
She was already out of position. She has most of the right side open, and with Morgan right here, like this up to now is when she knows, okay,
She's going that side.
she's going that side, so I need to put it exactly where nobody can reach it.
You think if she doesn't take that step, she gets there? She does, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a mistake on the goalkeeper then.
Yeah, you just give yourself a little bit too much on one side, and I mean sometimes that kind of gets you because you kind of go to it, but it's just so well placed low and to the right that there's no chance for everybody. 3-2. It was a good match. It was loud. Like that's the thing. It's
was,
loud,
it was.
bro. Like
I mean, almost 32,000 people. It has to be loud. Again, you do get those moments where it's very quiet. But then you get. I kind of made the joke. I went to the bathroom and I heard the crowd screaming. And I just came. I was like, "Oh, did they cross the midfield?"
yeah.
And essentially, sometimes that happens because the crowd does get excited when potentially there's a chance for a counterattack or anything like that, and it's a little different than kind of some games that we're used to, but. Nonetheless, the Snapdragon experience is unlike any other here in San Diego.
Yeah, there's so many times where you'll see Van Egmond, Sí, Van Ekman.
Van Ekman.
La media.
Mm-hmm.
Just give those through passes,
Yeah.
and it's Morgan or Shaw or Ali, and there's no chance that anybody's gonna go ahead and get to that ball.
Yeah.
It's gonna roll out slowly, but if it's in a dangerous position, the crowd will still pop.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's sometimes deceiving. So it's its own thing, and I think it was proven with you going to the America Cholos literally the next day.
Yeah.
Right. Like
Yeah.
it's talk about a contrast. By the way, we'll get to that because we're gonna have Alan coming in.
Yeah,
in
we'll
here
get to that
soon.
after 2 miles under. But I mean, their next game for San Diego Wave is April 1st against North Carolina Courage. Courage are coming off a 1-0 win against Kansas City. We're not gonna get to be there at the game. We're gonna have our intern Miguelito show up.
Yeah.
We have commentary for Soccers, which we're also gonna talk about.
Come and watch the soccer's game too. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like it's
I mean, it sucks that there's games that
intertwined. Yeah.
but you know, it's the Soccers last home game of the
It's-
season, and it's fan appreciation night, and they already clinched first place.
Listen, this is the last regular home season game for the San Diego Soccers in Pechanga Arena. The old sports arena is going to see the Soccers regular season action for the very last time. And I know people think it's a dump. I know people say it's like, oh, sports sucks. It really does. It really fucking does. But like, it's a special place.
Show that team the
Come on.
respect it deserves, right?
Come on.
Back-to-back champions, going for a three-peat before they move up north. Be there. You know, Wave season's still early. You'll get to watch them again, especially if you already went last week. Show the soccer some love. Yeah, we're not gonna get to be there.
1,000+ people here behind us, and it's just a testament to how much we really want this. And Alex coming in with so much pressure that in the end of the
a good angle.
final minutes of the game, but
Yeah,
still
we're gonna keep doing
putting
this.
away.
Yeah. Same seats.
Just proud of us all together.
We got the first question as well. Can we talk about that? We were picked first for the press conference, which is good.
You know why? The Hawaiian shirt.
The Hawaiian
It's a
shirt.
special Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah, dude, you have to keep
It's a
wearing
special-
something like that.
No. Like I have more, and I see. I don't know. It was preseason. I was coming out of it. I don't know what procrastinating Puma was talking about, talking smack about my Hawaiian shirt. It's part of the new lineup. Like there's one. There was
It's
one
the new
Hawaiian
spring,
shirt.
summer lineup. From
There is
Walmart.
one Hawaiian shirt that I'm gonna wear that people are gonna be like, or they're gonna be like,
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know. You're chill like that,
"So,
dude.
is there a well, the 11 already passed. Is there a 311 day? But yeah, this is a good angle.
Hi, congratulations to both of you on the first win here in the first game of the season at home. What can you speak about this preseason where obviously Morgan,
the audio
you came
quality.
over after international break and saw this group that was starting up already. What did you see in that group that solidified themselves and then you just were able to come in and just add to that?
Yeah, I think last preseason.
Inside baseball. That sound you hear is me passing the microphone
Yeah, that's me.
behind you.
And I had to wait a little bit. People, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Like I was thinking of what to ask Amir Ali because you already asked
We
Alex
have
something,
to ask something.
and now in my mind, I'm like, okay, you asked something to Alex. Now I get to ask to Amira.
And I was trying to think of something that would, because
You like my question too?
no, it was good. And that was actually what I was thinking. Like I was going to do a follow up after in case you didn't to Amira. And it was actually going to be that exact thing. Like that exact
Vato,
thing.
It's crazy. I mean, 3 years, man, sync already.
but,
And it,
yeah.
was, it was a good question too. I mean, asking her, like, you know, you and wrapped up preseason, scoring the 2 goals against Angel City, and you start out the season with the first goal here. Tell us about your game. What's different? What's going well for you? It's a very straightforward question, but it works. It always works for a first season. Pinche zancudota allá atrás. No, ya se fue para allá, para los galones. It's fine. It's fine. I'm worried about you because you're sleeveless right now y te van a picar. You know?
We're good.
Okay.
Chill.
Se mueren los zancudos.
Le da diabetes a los escudos. The goal in the supporter section was hype. Esteban Toscano's good. Good old boy.
Yeah, man. A lot of people made it out. I
Season
saw
season
Carl
boy.
down there.
Tony Hawk. Yeah.
Is the boy in the Zoom already?
We'll check it out.
Did you open the right one?
I hope so.
Boy hasn't messaged, right?
Recording stop.
Recording stopped. That lady. Do you ever think about that? Have you ever thought about that?
About that lady, the recordings in session. Recording stop. That lady?
Like-
Siri?
This is the lady that's Siri.
Oh, no shit.
We're dying to know, Siri, who is the voice of Siri?
Who is it?
I am the voice of Siri.
That's a human being. It's not a.
She doesn't sound like Siri.
She looks like Siri.
She does look
Look
like
at her.
Siri. Is that her actual name? Siri?
No.
Imagine.
the-
That'd be pretty cool.
Alan.
The boy Alan.
The boy Alan.
Recording in session. Yeah, stay tuned. We're about to start Two Balls Underwood, where we're going to talk about San Diego Loyal. Oh, there's the boy. San Diego Loyal allowing their first goal of the season.
So, all right. So, inside baseball. The media blast was that after a 2-0 start to the season, San Diego Loyal undefeated. And so, again, San Diego Loyal allowed Sacramento to hand them their first loss. Note the word there is allowed. Let's see if we have somebody who believes that to be the case as well. Let's welcome in the great and powerful Alan Underwood. Mr. Allen.
What's up? How are you guys doing?
Okay, first of all, the shirt. Okay. You coming from a dinner party or something?
No, I just didn't change after work.
Oh, no, man, the boy has to dress up for work.
Wait, so that's your work clothes?
Dang.
Oh.
Yeah, I got I was meeting with members today, so I had
Telling me
to,
you can't go in
look
Crocs?
nice and worked about 6 today, and then came home and relaxed a little bit, and then had some dinner, and so I was just like, man, I haven't changed yet. But then I knew I was coming on, so I wanted to look good for you guys, so I just kept it going.
Yet here I am in a sleeveless shirt. Hi guys.
Sun's out, guns out though today, so
I have to.
mean,
It's gonna
Ooh,
rain. It's
on
gonna
Wednesday.
be terrible on Wednesday, Thursday. So
Yeah.
I do have to say, I was watching a little bit of the show earlier before while I was eating dinner, and I didn't sign into my YouTube, and so because I wanted to see and so I just put in 2 balls,
Mhm.
no space, first one to come up. So congratulations, guys!
Love it. Love that.
You guys made it. When people are searching for 2 balls, they will find you.
All
absolutely.
kinds, man. People need to start searching up San Diego Punto Futbol.
San Diego Punto
Yes.
Futbol. And no, and so a lot of it is in part, but a lot is, what is that, teacher? Oxymoron? No, it's the
Teacher, what is that, teacher?
teacher.
Mr. Alan.
Mr. Allen, Mr. Underwood. A lot of
That's exactly how we would say, Mr. Underwood.
Mr. Underwood. I don't know. I'm not sure how many of those types of students you had, Alan, especially with recent news coming out of Temecula. It's like, oh, all right. But anyway, San Diego Loyal, they lose 1-0
Yes.
away.
That is what they did.
Um,
That is an accurate statement.
I
they
think-
allowed themselves to be beaten.
is that an accurate statement? If not in just they, essentially played themselves with what happened up there. I don't know. What are your thoughts overall? Just going into the game, right? Like, I had hesitations. You both peer pressured me. You were like,
No, you need to
"Oh,
you
gonna
nut
lose
up,
this?"
man.
And I
If
was
you feel like they're gonna lose,
"Whoa,
start saying
hey."
it.
All right. Well, I
Like,
feel
you
like
would have
they're-
been right.
I
damn
feel
it.
like they're gonna lose 1-0 against Sacramento. Yeah.
I mean, Sacramento was I think the 4th best home team last year in the West. So going to Sacramento is always going to be a test, right? And that's what we talked about last time. It was Detroit, then it was a step up to Phoenix at home. This is another step up to Sacramento on the road, right? And so you have this hype train going in there of a pretty decent offense, a pretty solid back line, and I think I think going into it, you have to remind yourself that Ebby's out, right? That came out. Kyle Adams is away, right? And so two of the guys who was making that back three really, really good were no longer out. And so going into the game, you feel a little bit less confident, right? And Sacramento, again, tough place to play on the road. And I know we'll get into more details later, but I don't think this is nearly as bad as it seemed when I was reading the Twitter before I watched the match. Right. So I wasn't able to watch it live. And so I was just living through it for Twitter for a minute, and it felt like they got played off the park, or, things were terrible. But I think the problem is when we come from this world of the Premier League or La Liga or any of these, top 5 leagues, like every loss matters, right? Every loss is like the end of your season. This is American soccer where it's like, you just make the playoffs, guys.
Yeah.
Or, I think we get spoiled too with the Soccers, like to tie that into
100%. Yes.
They win all the time. So you're just used to going to soccer matches where the team wins all the time. And that's just never going to be the case with Loyal. Like Loyal's not going to go 32-1-1, right? They're not going to go 32-2. Like if they do, it's like, holy crap, that's like the best season in USL history.
Yeah.
So I think my expectations of the game are a little bit different than I think the normal roller coastery fan on this one, but I understand the frustration after watching it.
And I think a lot of the frustration has to go with, you kind of get spoiled going 2-0 at home and back-to-back clean sheets when you only allowed 6 clean sheets last season, right? And then Koke has a hell of a game as well. So you're kind of looking forward to this game, and you get scored on, and then you have Conway just missing early in the first half. Like, it's one of those, come on, even I could probably score that. Like you think, the average fan thinks, right? Joe Corona with a great shot, right? And you, in a way, you do have to score that. You expect your number 9 to score those, right? It's an easy tap in. And you can see it in his face. His reaction says it all. He's like, it's so bad of a miss that he even laughed about it. Right?
Yeah. The Sacramento goalkeeper did do a very good job about trying to put him off as much as possible, right? Like he knows he's going to have to try and place it in the corner, right? Maybe not as an easy of a shot as it seems by looking at it. Like he's like, I got to go back low to the left, right? Because the goalkeeper's going to get back up and I might not be able to get a chip. And so, yes, you want him to bury that for sure, right? And ultimately, if he does, maybe this is a different game, right? It's a 1-0 victory for San Diego Loyal, or it's at least a 1-1, right? Like you give up a set piece goal, which is kind of, that's pretty lame. But Koke was like, I think the two things that I'm taking away from this game is Koke has stepped up his game when it comes to stop shopping.
Yes, 100%.
Some of those saves were like holy poop balls saves, right? Like this one we're watching right now, like that's a reaction save that you don't see all that often, right? Getting that big paw there and getting enough strength in there to knock that ball away, right? Like you've seen goalies where it bounces off and it's still in the net, right? Or hits off the bottom and bounces down and skips in. So I think that's one of the takeaways. The other takeaway is this back three is not nearly as solid and competent as the previous back three, right? Early in the game, they're giving the ball away. It just seemed like they were shaky, and that makes sense, right? You have, 3 guys who probably have been practicing together for maybe a week in those 3 positions.
Yeah.
And so that was that. I think that was the biggest problem as well. It's just the back line was not as solid as it was, and just only give up 1 goal, I think, is still pretty darn good on the road.
No, absolutely. It's key, right? You don't have 2 of your starting center backs from the first 2 games, and you kind of, the reality of it is you're gonna get scored on, and that's exactly what happened. And historically, Loyal have not been the best at defending set pieces, and we saw it again this season. And hopefully, it's not a problem this season, but it was in this game, and I think it was just poor marking. Really, like the guy was wide open, easy header. Tony, I don't know. What did you think of this goal?
I mean, it's one of those situations where it's a really good header for, the chance and the window that the player has. And it's very difficult for Coca to really measure the bounce of it, right? Because you have seemingly here a pretty soft header, right? And it's relatively close to where Coca is once it goes in. And he almost reacts a little bit too late. But when you see the reverse angle, I think it's going to be this one where you see the bounce there. He just sees a player on his peripheral. So first of all, you don't know if it's your teammate, if it's another player. Always assume that regardless, you shouldn't have been there, and you're going to get destroyed with the ball too. But it's really hard to really react at that point. And so by the time that bounces, because you're looking at the player, the ball is just already past you. And so it's a defensive error in marking. He obviously gets in the clearance of between two players there.
And those bounces are always very, very hard to stop.
Yeah. And that's what it took to beat Coca today. And, sometimes that's what it is. And a goal like that in the first half and then the second half is just pain, just pain for not being able to get anything on the other side, especially when, defensively you might not be there with the absence of Evie, who ACL injury, just say it's a tear, guys. Like, don't pussyfoot about it. Like, stop giving people hope. If it is a bruise, say it's a bruise, right? Like, what tactically do you really gain from saying we have a player maybe coming back this season or not? Like, it's
at this point, you kind of get used to that from San Diego Loyal.
I liken it to, I don't know if you have experience with this, Alan, but it's like that girlfriend or significant other where you're like, hey, so what are we going to eat? I don't know. It's anything. No, but tell me what we want to eat. Oh, no, like it's anything. Like, I'll eat anything. No, but tell me. Oh, well, it's an ACL injury. Oh, okay, clearly, but like, what about it? Like,
I don't want to eat an ACL injury for dinner. Thank you very much, Tony.
I mean, I've served a couple of those to people who dared. Who dared?
I mean, and maybe maybe it isn't a tear. Maybe it's a strain, and maybe they're seeing if things are gonna heal better.
But to have the players with the
Stay Strong
Ebby, like it, writing the
especially since New Mexico just put out that Christian Nava, who's one of their big players, is out with an ACL. You see other teams putting it out, right? Like when it's a known entity, you want that news.
Yeah.
The part that is heartbreaking for me is that he had to wait so long for his visa issues, and he played a couple games and on kind of like a freak injury too, right? It wasn't like, oh my goodness, but those things happen, right? ACLs, like you can be like walking down the street and your ACL pops and then you're done.
I don't think you and I have talked about this, Alan. I mean, with Chiva, like last week I said, it looks like Charlie will be fine. And it also looks like Ebby will be fine. Why? Because Ebby was walking around with just a simple ice wrap. And after that, he had to, at post-match, he's cold and everything, he had to walk himself up that hill. Now, I know these are professional athletes. I know these are just, strong-minded individuals. Sometimes pain, it doesn't calculate in the same way. But I would think if there was any chance of a player having a serious knee injury, you'd do everything possible to keep him off that leg completely. And I'm not saying that, well, it went from a partial disc to meniscus to a full ACL and the walk up. Like, no, damage is probably most likely already done. But it
helps to just
it
cut
helps.
him off.
Yeah, come on, guys. Poor guy.
I mean, and on the flip side of the second half, like you have to tip your cap to Sacramento. Like they bunkered in. They were playing like 5-man back line, 4 men right in front of them. Like they were playing really well organized defense at the end, and they're really tough to break down when they do that. Like Sacramento is no joke, right? This is they beat multiple MLS teams on the way to the Open Cup last year. They're coached really, really well. They have really good players that have been together for a while. I mean, still like Loyal are getting looks, right? It's not like they're not putting Sacramento under pressure. They're just not finishing their chances and creating enough shot volume to put Sacramento really under any type of sustained pressure. And you got to tip your hat to Sacramento for doing that. I thought Nate played all of the cards that he could have played, right? He had Colin Martin in the back line at one point, right? He's going for the win, like, which you gotta appreciate that your coach isn't like, oh well, okay, like he's like, no, we're going for the draw here, like there's nothing to lose, and so let's throw out what we can, and it might pay dividends later in the season, right? Like Damas doesn't feel like he's quite dialed in yet. That will come. Collier has nice moments, but maybe he has like that predictable run to the left thing that he likes to do. That Sacramento was kind of keeping him, off balance. I didn't love the Colin Martin, Joe Corona midfield.
No.
I think Adams does a better job, and I think you miss Adams both on the field and on the set pieces. Like I think if Adams is on the field for how many corner kicks and free kicks they got, there's a likelihood. But then again, you're putting the ball in, and you would hope Kyle Adams is on the receiving end, right? So it was just kind of a game. Like it's disappointing. It's a bummer. I don't think anyone played necessarily poor. I thought there were some nice moments. Blake Bodley looked okay. Nick Moon had a really nice game. But then when you're trying to press at the end and Collier's your winger, I think you lose a little bit. Like he's really good with the ball, but I'm not sure he presses the way we want Loyal to press. And I think you saw that difference in how they're approaching their away games versus the home games. Is just less energy, less pressing, less high pressing. And so they had to work a little bit harder to get the ball to where they normally would. And
a few worries for me are just hopefully it's not going to be a season where they're just have poor performances on the road, especially if they're going to be, and I quote Nate, the most traveled team in the world. But for me personally, I still think Collier is going to be more of a second half player where he can make a bigger impact. I think essentially Evan Conway is going to be your starter until Ronaldo is able to kind of like mold better with the players.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see Adrian Perez coming in, getting some minutes just because of how the word you like to use, Tony, is desequilibrante.
Just explosive.
And just quick on his feet. I feel like that could have made an impact as well. Again, Alan, I agree. I didn't like the Colin Martin, Joe Corona chemistry. I think Charlie Adams and Joe Corona were doing something great the first two games. And I mean, if you can throw in Colin Martin, the last 30 minutes of the game just kind of like solidify anything. If you already have a lead, will work out. I mean, Colin Martin is a player that you want to have, but if he's gonna miss some games, so be it. It'll happen. I think there could have been more that could have been done, but again, like you said, props to Sacramento. They're a tough team to beat at home, and it's one of those games where you lose, maybe you get them back at home. It's going to be important, especially because it is a conference matchup.
Yep.
And I don't know. I know there was words from Nate right after the game, Tony.
Yeah, and so very original by the great Nate Miller here.
Was it original?
You got to come original. You got to come original. That's 2 311 references by me today. I'm in a mood.
We appreciate it.
Who's we, Alan? We the community.
The community of white bearded men. We appreciate that we are seen on the Two Balls in the Wind.
Santo Claus.
Look, we got chavos. We got all representation here. Like it's fantastic content here. 311. She really look into it. But yeah, so this is Nate Miller after the match.
Nice to lose. I think we played a pretty good game in a hard environment. Just disappointed the result. There were some really good things that we did. They executed on a set play, and we had so many set plays, and we didn't quite do enough on those, so that was disappointing.
You said set plays. Anything else that you right now can glean that you need to build on going into the next game?
I mean, honestly, I thought our guys fought so hard. I think the performance was very good. I think
Who has said that before? That's a very Landon answer. The performance was good.
He did go to the Landon Donovan head coach media
I
training.
mean, to
School?
be fair,
TBF.
there were elements. I mean, the coach's job is to put them in a position to score goals and win matches. Like the coach can't score the goals for them. So there was like some moments of really nice play, and some of the offensive players I think played fairly well. So it's not unfair.
One shot on target though.
Correct, and that's part of the problem, right? Like they didn't. I mean, even the Conway shot is not a shot on target, and that was like a big chance, right? They both Sacramento and San Diego, I think, both had 2 big chances. They missed both of those big chances. It could have very easily been 2-0 loss. Like, let's not forget this was a 4-0 loss last year on the road in Sacramento in the last game of the season when you were, hoping to get the 2nd seed or whatever that was. I can't remember. But you would hope that you would go in there and win, and you just got crushed by Sacramento 4-0. So 1-0, I mean, that's progress, but I was pretty bitty bummed about the result.
Fuck. See, now I feel seen, Alan.
What else did Mr. Nate Miller
Our
say?
midfield was very strong. We didn't get behind them a lot, especially after the goal. They started dropping their lines. But I think we created 3 huge chances in the game. And in order to win a place like this, you probably need to take 1 or 2 of them. But in general, I think our team was well connected. We had a good way about us today. We're a competitive group. We don't like to lose.
Koke had some pretty great saves. Can you just talk about his performance today?
Yeah, he had a huge save in the first half, which was big. Came for some good crosses, but also just we were really good in our build out today, and we were able to break them down and really wear them down throughout the games. And he's a huge part of that build up. So again, he's had a really good first 3 games, and we're happy with him.
How do you feel just summing up your first road trip?
Yeah, look, I think as far as a performance, if we perform like that on the road a lot, we're gonna do very well.
Hopefully.
We would love to turn a performance like that into a point, but that's how it goes. We're calm. We're just gonna continue to move on and continue to improve our performances.
As fireworks seem to have
Either that
rung
or a
out
very
in
old
my
car.
neighborhood. Yeah, no, sorry.
And
Fireworks, right?
I think so, dude. That mosquito. is
Mosquitoes,
huge.
fireworks.
I was
mean,
under
the
attack
garage
right
is
now.
coming-
Sorry, Nate. I interrupted Nate Miller, but performance. Hopefully, they have performances like that, but with better results. Joe Corona was the player of the match for San Diego. Look, motherfucker! Ah!
It's okay, bro. Come on now.
It's
I got
behind
you.
the stars. Behind the scar. Ah, okay. We're good, Alan. Don't worry.
I hear you're worried, Alan.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what's going on with you guys.
Do you have
I wanna make
mosquitoes
sure you're-
over there? Where you're from?
Mosquitoes or the crane flies? Because crane flies are not mosquitoes. Are they the big ones?
You're that guy. I'm allergic to crane flies. All right, Alan.
Okay.
Me dan granitos. I still get itchy.
Anyways, Joe Corona was the player of the match, and
Yeah.
I think you have to give it to Koke here, right? He had those big saves. I don't know if they don't want to have the same player back-to-back player of the game, but Koke is lining up to be essentially your best player this season so far.
Hey, Joe. What are your thoughts on being named man of the match in a 1-0 loss? Thank you, Joe. But I mean,
I'm personally
yeah.
not a fan of man of the match if you lose, giving your man of the match from your team, but I know everyone does, essentially. But
Congratulations, Joe. I mean,
congrats, Joe.
you earned it. You earned it by being one of 3 players eligible for it that the club predetermined. It was either him, Elijah, or Colin Martin. So take your pick, I guess. But anyways, that's not the end all be all. All right. There is another match coming this weekend. Obviously, last match was the loss against Sacramento here. Phoenix Rising. Any closing thoughts on Sacramento, guys?
No.
No, it's one of those you want to forget about it already. No, I mean, hopefully you're able to figure out what your backline situation is going to be for this next game, because if you don't have Evie, I'm not sure if Kyle Adams will be back for this game. Hopefully.
It would be hilarious if like they wore the jerseys and Evie's back next week.
But no, essentially, if you're going to be
They
starting
worked.
Elijah Martin.
This shirt's worked.
It's a miracle. I think if you're going to be starting Elijah Martin at center back, it might not work out in the long run. It's going to be a lot of adapting for him to do. Maybe once you have Kyle Adams, you can start Kyle Adams, Stoneman, and Simba, which is it's going to solidify more with the 3 center backs. But how long will that last you if those are going to be your only options? You have the other option you have is Camden Riley, who adapts from a 6th position to a center back. So either you modify something or you got to figure it out. We'll see what they put out for Phoenix as a starting 11, but I don't know what to expect, right? It's going to be, I mean, a team that you already faced, but I don't know what are you guys' expectations here? What do you guys hope to see?
Home opener, so that always adds a little bit of juice
That
to
is
any
true.
team, right? Do they have the juice offensively? It looked like it last time they were here on Torero. It just wasn't clicking precisely for them. They really should have gotten a goal or two out of that matchup. Maybe not win it, but it's a team that's definitely having its mid transformation. They're trying to work into the system with the players that they got. Whereas Loyal, I think, are a little bit more solid in that sense where they know who they are and were knowing who they are early in the season. So it'll be interesting to see this, Alan. Phoenix, how do you fare? How do you see them faring here?
I mean, you know, the last time Phoenix Rising played a soccer match, right?
Yeah, they lost 3-0 against San Diego.
They lost 3-0 to San Diego, right?
That was a couple days ago, a couple days of Rooskies.
And so they've had nothing but time to think about this match, reset themselves, to think about what they learned. And, you know, I don't think 3-0 was very fair for that match. And so they're going to come out hungry to not only open their stadium, like their brand new stadium, with a victory, with like a resounding victory. But they've also had a week or 2 weeks to kind of prep specifically for this game. Now they, just like Loyal, they have, you know, a midweek match for Open Cup against Greenville at home. And then they're on the road against Birmingham. But I would imagine that they put all of their energy into getting off the ground. I didn't understand that either. Getting off the ground with the in the win column, and then probably rotating some guys in Greenville. So they're probably going to be very strong. They're going to be all out. They're going to want to win, and not just because it's San Diego, because it's their home opener. They're going to have the crowd behind them, and probably a pretty decent crowd because it's back in downtown. I guess it's like right by the airport, and so they're going to be. People are going to show up and show out for them, and so it is going to be. You know, I think this opening road trip is another step up, right? This is a hostile environment against a team who's hungry to win, and it's going to be another big test for Loyal on the road. You know, you've already got 3 goals up on them in a win. So, like, if you're talking about head-to-head matchups for a possible playoff tiebreaker, like, you need to get out of there with, like, a draw or not getting blown out. And, you know, in USL, if you win at home and draw on the road, you're going to end up at the top in probably a home playoff match. But Loyal goes into Phoenix like they want to win all the time. Like that's like their default setting. So it should be a pretty fun match where Loyal plays maybe a little bit more aggressively than they did against Sacramento.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, yeah, Phoenix actually playing in Phoenix, not Chandler. Yeah, in what's it called? Wild Horse Pass Stadium. Could we see 10,000 fans fill up that stadium? Most likely, it's the home opener. So it'll be interesting to see how San Diego react to that atmosphere up in Phoenix. But I do think if we're going to match predictions, it'll be interesting to see what they do. I'm going to go with a draw in this match. I don't think Phoenix comes out with the win in their home opener. I'm going to go with like a 2-2 draw here. Essentially, just because I don't know what the backline situation is right now. Koke could just put out another show and have amazing saves as well, but maybe a penalty or something on the sword. So I'm going to go 2-2.
I mean, I was very negative Nancy, and I said a draw last time. where it's going to be, again, it's going to be festering. It's just going to be, what's that, poster board material for Phoenix, right? And I'm not sure if San Diego Loyal necessarily has that edge right now, where you have to realize that this can be a very important matchup down the line. If you're talking about the positioning, as far as maybe not making playoffs, but just the positioning of how everything goes down at the end, is you're not going to see Phoenix. And like, this is important after this matchup. And, are you in that do or die situation where you are going to be, match day 20, and you're going to be looking back and like, if only we had these 3 points back when we played Phoenix away, or if only we had this 1 point, just however that goes down. But I don't think they have right now that urgency.
It's very early.
Yeah, no, urgency in the sense that they need to win this. If you're really wanting to maybe make that play for first place, second place, a lot of things can happen from here. Their teams get better. The chemistry gets very, cohesive for some teams later on in the season. We saw Monterey do it last time. Roots, they were up and down, but all in all, I think a fair and hopeful result is a tie. And if it's 1-1, sure. Coca's playing really well. It was difficult for them to get any offense. So,
what question? I don't want to. Would a tie be a great result for Loyal here?
yeah, why not? Yeah, like it
What
would be a
better,
good result.
A 1-1 or a 0-0? You keep a clean sheet away. What type of tie is better? Does it matter?
If you're a
Does it
0-0
matter to
Brazil,
you?
Mexico, it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Like, no.
I'm asking
Even as
because
a
you're
goalkeeper, like,
yeah,
even as a
that's why
goalkeeper,
I'm
like,
asking.
I mean, with
Yeah.
with the tiebreakers in USL, it's usually head to head. It's not goal differential.
Yeah.
Or it's head to head, and then if it's tied, I think it's how many goals you scored against each other, like the goal differential. Like if you won 3-1 or 3-0 and then lost 1-0, you would still win the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
So I think like getting out of Phoenix with at least a point is like a huge, I wouldn't say a huge accomplishment, but a very important accomplishment for Loyal, right? If you want to start, this is you're already solidifying a tiebreaker, and it's like week 4. So this is a pretty big ask for Loyal. As far as our season is concerned, like, do I think that Phoenix and San Diego might be in a tiebreaker at some point? I'm not sure, but I mean, Phoenix had 67% of the possession and 16 shots last game. Like, they're going to get some more on target. It's going to be a very tough match, and so like you go in there winning, but getting out with a draw, I think people should be very pleased with that. You take 4 of the 6 points, and Phoenix only gets 1 of the 6, right? Like, that's pretty good. I think most teams would take win at home, draw on the road every day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's again very early in the season, and if you go in and do your job and do what's expected, I think a lot of people got a bucket of cold water on this last game where oh man, like it's not the world breaker of Loyal that we thought.
Not gonna be an undefeated season. Like,
well, yes, factually, yes, it is not going to be an undefeated season. You are correct. But overall, I think it's a good time to really see what you have early on, especially with so much travel here in the travel. Right, all things considered, you travel to Phoenix and you travel to Sacramento, relatively close, relatively in the West Coast. But I'll be interested to see how those East Coast trips end up going. I found out that Ebby wasn't on the plane early on because somebody said he wasn't on the plane. I was like, huh, that's very interesting. And that kind of spun things into a thing. So these athletes aren't necessarily in first class, just to put it out there.
I mean, Joe Corona was at Snapdragon yesterday.
He wasn't wearing anything San Diego
He didn't wear
Loyal.
anything
Like,
Loyal.
Why not?
I really wish he would have worn a Loyal jacket or jersey. He got like
Landon wore a hat today.
Yeah,
Hat.
like he got kind of like an award, like honorary mention before the game, along with Salvador Cabañas, Club America legend.
Yeah.
But I mean, I kind of wish Joe would have been like wearing something Loyal related or kind of pushing for the team, just because there was like 27,000 people there.
Yeah.
And essentially, that's the target audience that Loyal has been trying to get. So that would have been cool to see, but
Missed opportunity.
it's a different conversation.
100%.
There.
I also wonder if he was asked not to. Like, you're here as this type of person, so we want you to avoid.
They would have rather him wear a Galaxy attire. At least they're the Primera División. O sea,
Yeah, maybe. But Alan, what do you think? April 1st, a win, tie? I don't think I caught that.
Um,
A loss.
I'm really hoping it's like a 3-2, like exciting old school Phoenix Loyal match, just because I think neutrals, that's what they're expecting. I mean, it's going to be I think it's going to be edgier seat, nail biting affair regardless. So I'm going to go like a 3-2 Loyal win
It's a
with
fun game.
you know, maybe not Aguido, maybe this is the Joe Corona scores the third goal, or Damas scores a brace. One of the newer guys comes in and continues the tradition of Loyal playing well in San Diego or in Phoenix, with some late drama.
I like that. It's hopeful. It's a fun game if it pulls through. So I'm rooting for your prediction there.
yeah, I mean, 0-0 tie, sure, it means the same. Like, yeah, at the end of the day, it's worth the same. But yeah, I mean, exciting stuff. We will see you, Alan, before the Albion match. You're going to be at the Albion match? Do you support
Nice.
Albion?
I submitted my media credential today.
Oh, it came out. Cool.
Oh,
we
yeah.
can submit that right after the pod.
What?
Yeah, so I submitted for that. I'll be driving down
¿Dónde, güey?
Where-
from work that evening, probably straight to the match.
Who sent you that email?
It was in the announcement for the media availability this week.
Gotcha. Thank you so much.
Okay, I really appreciate
Appreciate that, Alan. Thank you. Breaking news.
No problem, guys.
What?
it. So dumb. What we can do with this now?
So we'll see you there, Alan.
Phoenix?
Yes, at the
San
at
Diego
the
Sports
1904 match. Yes, you'll see me.
Oh, that's disrespectful.
man.
How dare you? How dare you? You have
Sorry.
really upset some shirtless dude with a cat in some.
Sorry, the Albion 190 Albion San Diego 1904s.
Oh, that was great. That
Hell
was
yeah.
yeah.
We support local soccer. Support local soccer, right, Loyal? Little
All of the local soccer.
all the local soccer.
All of the teams that have megazorded into Albion soccer.
I do like this by Drew is like, are they really never going to say we didn't have it tonight? Didn't get it? Will work. Like, that's actually a very real, gripe. I feel where it's all very happy-go-lucky. At times where it's like, we lost, but on to the next one. Like, no, be mad, be upset. Like, no, we sucked today. No, we need to do better here. No, we did it. There's still time. I want to see angry Nate Miller.
I also wonder like how much gets said in that locker room though. Like it's one of those like leadership things where like you don't throw your team under the bus in public, but then behind closed doors you can just like talk about all of the things that didn't go well. And you know, I think that's part of it too, right? Like also Nate is never going to be the guy. Like even when I asked him that question about they've made availability space and was it just like an effort issue, and he was like,
Move on, Alan.
No, he looked in there and was like, fuck you.
You're dead
You?
to me.
Done. It's over.
yeah. But I just think it's like some coaches will, some coaches will never. I think it's just their coaching style, to never like disparage a team. Like Conte did, and now he's doesn't have a job.
Well, I mean, it's Tottenham, bro.
I
It's-
kind of
doesn't
rather
matter.
not have a job for
To
coach
work for Tottenham. Vato, come on now.
I did see that the Tottenham esports team even lost in the final.
Of course they
so-
did.
To
No
lead to
trophies.
the Leeds team, which I think is even that hurts even more to them.
But yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens April 1st. Alan, we'll see you April 5th as well. But we'll see you before that as well on the next episode.
Love you guys.
Later, Alan.
Do you support
Have a good
MLS, Alan, in San Diego? Oh, sorry. I don't know if you want to just lay that and make make enemies on the way out.
I mean, I get when people talk about like teams that did it right and teams that didn't do it right.
But in San Diego,
I think I'm not a huge fan of MLS, and to like point out why I'm not is there was some stuff about signing Messi where every team would contribute to his salary because that investment will make money for all of the teams. So it's like if San Diego joined, they'd be paying for Messi to play against them. Like it doesn't always seem like a sporting adventure. It seems like a marketing adventure that happens to be sports. And so sometimes that is what makes MLS unattractive to me. The other thing is like a lot of people have put a lot of time and energy in building something here in San Diego, and then MLS comes in and plops it in and it feels kind of plastic and corporate.
Yeah.
I'm not going to like that. But if they listen to, the friends that we have in the community who've really put their heart and soul into not just Loyal, but soccer in the community, the Bridge Barcadas and the Chavos and the, and by extension, the Brujos, like the things that they're doing to build soccer in the community. If they come in and embrace those folks, then sure, I'll support it or whatever. But if they come in and it's about corporate this and corporate that, and we're a franchise entity of this one league thing, that's where I start having the problem with it, right? It's what the problem with Chivas USA was, right? It wasn't authentically from the community. And say what you will about LAFC, like at least they tried to answer that critique, right? That's the difference between why Chivas USA wasn't successful where LAFC is how they approach the community. Now, all the other things besides that is, fine, but that's my take on MLS to San Diego.
So we shall see how it turns out. I mean, it's still a long way. I mean, we probably won't even see a team until maybe 2025. So you never know.
Sources.
Or it could be like Sacramento, where you're going to get a team and they're going to build a stadium, and then all of a sudden they're like,
Psych.
just kidding.
Yep. Hopefully not.
Give it to Sacramento. Wouldn't that be?
I don't think they would build. I think its stadium is already built for that, but
It's a pretty nice stadium. But yeah, another unsuccessful Chivas USA is sitting across from me. So thank you for reminding me of such painful times. That was mean.
yeah,
That was
I never
mean.
rooted for that team actually. But
Yeah, no, it wasn't. Hey, that's where our friend Jimmy Conrad play. All right.
who? Just kidding. But
Wait.
Alan,
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, Alan, always a pleasure having you on the podcast. 2 Balls Under Wood. See you next week, buddy.
Have a great night, guys.
You're the best around. No one's gonna ever tear me down. Yes,
I would 100% pay to see Messi play in San Diego.
just passion. No, I will. Like, why would I pay for somebody to beat my ass?
I would
get it,
pay
it's
for Messi to score a hat trick on my team, and I get to see it live.
So many people here in San Diego would go to see Messi score on La Selección.
I saw him score against La Selección, and
You
I was like,
paid for it.
that's Messi. I saw Messi score against Mexico. What a freaking honor.
But yeah, to answer, yes, it is going to be at the SDSU Sports Deck. Just check your local listings for that.
I guess it's like more of a neutral thing, right? Like, not at Albion's home.
It's a San Diego affair. I know there was talks to try to get into Balboa Stadium, but it didn't work out for whatever reason. I think Weston tore up the field, just destroying just pitches with his amazing acrobatics.
Of course.
But yeah, so it was a fun little weekend. Obviously, we talked a little bit of waves with San Diego Loyal, allowing just the kindness of them to allow a goal for Sacramento. It's just there's more cows than
San
people
Diego
up
is so
there.
nice,
Just
allowing
the
Sacramento to do
methane
that.
output of that certain part of the just it's terrible. Like I've never seen an airport that looks more like a bus station, and then I realized it's not just the airport; it's the entire goddamn town that looks like a bus station. I'm not a fan of Sacramento. But yeah. So on that before the San Diego Wave game, we did the commentary again, just to give you a view into the spectrum of two balls at a mic and where we're at in soccer in San
And what
Diego.
we can do.
And what we can or can't do. We're limited to some reasons.
Yeah,
we're
we
still
were.
we're still doing commentary for San Diego Internacional. My car died, and our boys from PB European Imports,
The boys,
Coach
check them out.
Alex, if you ever need anything, literally anything fixed in your vehicle, PB European Imports, they get the job done correctly. They have to. It's wild because like for me at least, like I always had an uncle who helped that. If that didn't work, you take it across the border to TJ. They'll fix it. Una mexicanada. But you always have in the back of my mind like,
Algo
I saw a guy put a piece of gum with a radiator instead of a nut.
It sometimes works though.
It sometimes works and it works forever and it works fine. But like if you really want things to get done, you get it done in the
You
U.S.
get it done at PB European Imports.
PB European Imports.
Check
and
'em
so my motor blew and fixed it at PB European Imports. Fixed it like a dream. Fantastic. Great.
Does it feel like a brand new
It
car?
really does.
Wow.
If anybody's interested in I'm getting an upsold 2013 Kia Optima with 110,000 miles. 2013, 110,000 miles.
Hit
You
up
do
the boy.
math. But you know, it seems to have paid to do this commentary because it might have just paid for my motor fix.
Yeah, you're welcome.
in the
I
car.
guess.
But with that, we were doing commentary for the UPSL side, San Diego
Yeah.
Internacional. Head coach Keith Miller, no association to the Millers of Loyal.
No, but he does own the hangar up in El Cajon. Check that out. It's definitely a great place to promote futsal. Great place to train. San Diego's own Austin Guerrero sometimes hosts sessions there as well. Camden Riley has had
Cam Riley
sessions there
pops
as well.
in, yeah.
So it's great to see what Keith Miller is doing for the community when
Yeah.
it comes to soccer. And now he's coaching UPSL with our boys as the Inter and gave him some new uniforms that are pretty dope.
They were pretty cool, something that they needed. But in this commentary, usually we do the commentary at Mission Bay High School. For whatever reason, it wasn't available. I heard that
Screw Claremont High School.
Yeah. So Claremont High School was the site. If anybody has ever gone to Claremont High School, if they have an affinity towards Claremont High School, you might want to click off now because that place is a goddamn dump. And I went to Sweetwater High School like,
Before it was nice.
Before it was nice.
But yeah, so we had to do commentary from the away bleachers outside with extension cords. Luckily, there was a power outlet that we could connect to.
And I've said it. I can do wonders with. I just need
One
one
outlet.
power outlet.
Yeah.
That's all I need.
And we did wonders, Tony. We no Wi-Fi, so we couldn't stream the game, which was already annoying enough. But you know what? We got the job done like two balls in a mic always does, Tony.
Always does.
Made it work. And you know what? Very interesting game. Very first UPSL. What else do you expect? I mean, at one point I forgot to just even move the camera.
Yeah, no.
'Cause I was so into the game.
Yeah, it was
Red
fine.
card first 10 minutes.
Penalties, no VAR. We saw our first live leg break.
I don't think it was a leg break, but
It was a ligament
was-
ankle break. Like it was hanging. Like
yeah, I mean, Nomads, kind of like Loyal, didn't really announce what the injury was.
that's terrible. The piercing screams through Grossmont High School, or not Grossmont.
Claremont. Grossmont is nicer, I think.
Is it really?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Probably
Is there a
I'm not gonna-
Grossmont High School?
Yeah, there is. I'm not gonna look up high
Yeah,
schools
yeah,
here.
no, for sure.
Grossmont High School.
But yeah, I mean, we go from UPSL and
Yeah.
yeah, we go from UPSL at Claremont High School to Snapdragon at almost 32,000 people there. So
A bit of a bump up. It was nice.
Yeah.
We're getting local shout outs here for Cathedral Catholic High School. Snobby ass school, apparently. Cathedral Catholic. All right.
and then I mean the next day you have a gig.
Hi guys. Yeah,
Right.
so the next day we go over to two different things.
Yeah. Let's talk about yours first.
I drive up to the Calafino Sublimit Lounge in Carlsbad, which is about a 50-minute to an hour drive, hoping and praying that our friends at PP European Imports
Did a good job.
did a great job. So I wouldn't have to pay $249 from
Another tow truck.
National City to PB. I was in Carlsbad. I live in Imperial Beach. So now it would have been so bad. But yeah, so make it up there with Craig, great Craig Elston. And
You essentially had to take the whole podcast. Setup,
I had to take the whole podcast setup just because I wanted to make sure that it was running correctly and it was running well and everything was correct. As I click and the first thing I see is me fucking up. But like, look, like it's a real little broadcast. Like,
Look at you. That's
that.
amazing. That's great.
1,000 fans that come to Pachanga Arena, San Diego. There's enough sports love to spread around, isn't there? Join us, please. SDSoccers.com or 866-799-GOLD for tickets. But Tony, the other real big news: playoff tickets.
Craig
on
is
sale.
so great.
He is such
He
a
is so
fucking pro,
great.
dude. Like,
It's the second
It's
time doing a
ridiculous.
game with Craig at this point where you're a little more nervous, or he just kind of calms your nerves.
my nerves don't come from anything other than the technology.
Yeah.
That's where my nerves kick in.
Mhm.
And in this match, the worst thing that could have possibly happened, where the stream died.
Oh no.
The stream died, Chiba.
For
I
how
was-
long? Couple minutes.
Couple minutes because we have this big screen and then we're trying to sync that with the laptop. The laptop was 3 seconds ahead, and so every time I I pause it to 1, 2, 3, play it, it would skip back to
Mhm.
exactly live. But the screen, for whatever reason, was just 3 seconds. So we're trying to do this and call it, but then we can't. So then we have to look down, and Craig is calling an amazing game through not for a 13-inch screen, but the OBS box within that.
Where he
Interesting.
needed to be, and
Oh,
that's
look, that's
something
me.
that you definitely an attack opportunity. Well, this one brought all the way back.
It's a low-scoring
That's
match.
interesting. I thought the
Low
Falcons
scoring match
much
against
closer
the
to
Monterey
Rivals.
Flash. Monterey Flash playing for their playoff lives. Soccer's already in the playoffs,
Chilling.
already first place, won the
Smooth sailing.
supporter
They have
shield.
3 games left. So
Mhm. And
uh, they're very much. Oh, no, 2 games maybe.
no, 3 games
3
left.
games,
Yeah,
sorry.
3 games left. The next game is actually going to be a game that we call in Spanish once again the last and final. Right. Before I trip on myself, it's going to be on that same Saturday, April 1st, where we will do Spanish language commentary for the San Diego Sockers as they play the Tacoma Stars. Chiva, please tell me I'm right.
No, you're incorrect. That's not the next game they have. They have 2 games left. And it's
Puta
going
madre, güey. Just about my fufos, güey.
Yeah, so they have a game against Milwaukee.
Oh, yes,
Thursday,
Milwaukee Wave. Yes.
Thursday, and then the Saturday game that we're gonna do Spanish commentary is the last home game of the season. It's
I
gonna be
had
fan
Craig next to
appreciation,
me
and he probably
telling
announced it.
me
Yeah,
and
yeah,
announcing
exactly. Dude, there's a lot. I would pay $1 million to honestly see how your brain operates, because sometimes it amazes me, because it's a lot of things that go on in there, and it makes sense that you forget some things, and I know you get frustrated about things like that. But yeah, so they played Thursday, and that's what it is. I hope this doesn't get copyrighted.
I hope it doesn't either. Keep talking.
But yeah, so Tony's a very particular person where he likes to remember everything, but when he forgets things, he gets upset at himself, not at anyone else, just at himself. And that's just the type of person he is, and that's why he's amazing, and that's why we all love him in the soccer community. But yeah, they played Thursday, and then they play Saturday as well, which we're going to do Spanish commentary, along with all the home playoff matches that they have.
every single home playoff match, we have at least one game check coming our way.
Yeah, so
for
that'll be fun.
playoffs.
But I mean, at this point, you kind of play some starters as well, but you rotate a lot just to avoid injuries, avoid
Hopefully,
fatigue.
fuck.
Hopefully,
Fuck, dude.
give Boris Pardo some.
They're
breather.
giving everybody in Monterrey like well, good money's worth because I
Yeah.
guess you're getting a show, Boris Pardo, with a game-winning save. It's very rare that you get to say that, a game-winning save. And let me see if I can scroll through here. as I'm trying to see up, I'm trying to look up. I'm looking at the big screen.
Yeah.
It was hot, and it was fun.
Se nota
He's a
poquito.
completely professional, Craig. So actually, when the stream went down, I was
It's like
trying to
Craig.
move.
Look at he's laser focused, game face ready.
I had to move the computer to the right because the stream had frozen.
Ooh.
And it disconnected.
I know.
I don't know, but the internet messed up. Everything was still connected perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
And like I was trying, like sweating. I'm just like, oh fuck, what is this?
Yeah.
And then I hear Craig like he sees me just like in like the Cholos game. It's just locked in. Like,
Dang. He saw that side of you. That's great, actually.
and then he says something, and then it made me feel something for you. Actually, I'm like, wow, this is what it feels like. He's like, well, that's what you get for touching it. Like moving the computer because he thinks. And I was like, hijo de tu chingada madre. Like, déjame hacer esto. Like, I know it's me. I know, bro. Like, I shouldn't have touched it. Didn't have anything to do with it, but like.
Word of advice, Craig.
But,
I would not say anything to this man when he's in that mode because.
No.
I mean, you're safe, Craig, but this man would kill me if I say some shit.
Yeah,
like that.
100%. Like, 100%.
You're safe, Craig. If you're watching this, let me tell you,
He's listening.
you're very well. You can tell him
Loved.
anything. You can talk all the shit. I'm not in that position because this man will murder me.
Like, I was like,
If I
know
said what
you're
Craig
right.
told you,
You're
oh
right.
man,
Like, I know. It's the great Craig Elston. Like, cool, perfect. And he actually mentioned it during the broadcast. Like, yeah, many people say that Tony is best working under pressure.
Yeah, you're like an NFL kicker that would not miss at any 2 seconds left. You're down by 2. If you were a kicker, you would not miss any single kick.
There was a story, and I'll leave this for Craig tomorrow on Soccer's Overtime at 5 p.m. on Tuesdays on twitch.tv/San Diego Soccers. As far as his adventure to getting into the Calafino Lounge, I'll leave that story to him. Really
look
good
forward
story.
to hearing it.
100%. But in any case, while I was doing that, calling San Diego Soccer's victory in Monterey, you were back at Snapdragon the day after the record-breaking Wave game, which you told me.
I thought it was gonna be more people.
You thought it was going to be more people
and
than
I was
the Wave
wrong.
game.
And I was wrong. And
100%.
I'll admit it. I was wrong. I think it was around 27,000 people compared to almost 32,000 at Wave. But let me just tell you, Tony, the atmosphere as soon as I parked was completely different. I walked in with my credential, which I got right here. Pretty cool. Right here. Tour Aguila, which is kind of gross, but whatever. You walk in and it's just a Mexican party.
Yeah.
It's just, I think, in a way, it's a lot of everything what San Diego Loyal wants Torero to be.
Yeah.
And they had a tent out there as well, and then they were promoting themselves there as well as at the Wave game. But I think it's essentially what Wave would want at Snapdragon as well, but maybe won't be able to accomplish just based on fan bases. But it felt very homeish to me when I walked in. I said, "Wow, this is the freaking vibe that we could get with the MLS team here." I go up to the press box because that's where I was going to watch the game. I was in media, so I was in field level. And, you see the barras, you see the supporters group of La Independiente de America. You see the 40 people from the Masacre in a small corner. I mean, not a lot of people went from Cholos. There was a lot more America fans, which makes sense.
I want to put your brother on blast right now.
Go ahead. Put him on blast.
Your brother asked you to sneak in smoke bombs because he's part of the massacre.
Yeah. No. Stupid. Stupid if he thought I was going to do that.
I told you, like, you better check your backpack.
No, he didn't drive with me.
I know.
100%. And I told him, no, you're an idiot if you think I'm going to risk freaking 2 balls in the mic's future doing some stupid shit like that.
Yeah.
And I told our boys from Wave that we're working against, like, yeah, dude, my brother asked me this. I told him, you're a moron if you think I'm going to do that. I don't know who snuck shit in for America because they got smoke bombs in there when they shouldn't have. Goes to show what the class America fans have, right? But anyways,
Different level.
the food was great at the press box for this game. Prime Sports always puts on a
Okay.
show. They had wings,
Classic Mexican food.
salsa, and guac. And they had the
Oh.
cookies and coffee. The cookies, you remember when we went to the Galaxy match against Loyal?
Oh my god! Another reason why I'm gonna lose a foot.
Yeah, so it was great. The food was great. Media wise, it was a lot of press from TJ.
So you were
a lot
saying
of different, a lot of different. I think there was one person from NBC/Telemundo, which was more Telemundo in a way. No one from CBS, no one from ABC, whatever you want to say. Like that.
So
tends to
local
cover.
coverage-
no KUSI.
So local soccer coverage for a almost as good attended soccer game in San Diego at the brand new Snapdragon Stadium
Mm-hmm.
locally was only covered by 2 balls and a mic.
Pretty much, guarantee it. And that's what's frustrating. I think that's one of the topics we're gonna talk about in San Diego Weekly.
San Diego Football Weekly
San Diego
tomorrow.
Football
Yeah,
Weekly
100%.
tomorrow. So tune in for that. Where
A lot of you have it.
how do you not cover probably one of the biggest games? It's the first professional men's soccer match at Snapdragon.
Mans.
Men's.
yeah, you're.
You know what, dude?
It was
My
fun.
English, yeah.
That one was funny.
I mean, I said it like that because it was 2 Mexican teams. But how do you not cover that?
Yeah.
So we'll get more in that with Ryan tomorrow. But the atmosphere was just amazing. It was great. It was a lot of fun. These are 2 teams that I personally don't like. I explained to a friend of ours. He was a little surprised that it was more America fans, and I explained to him, you know what, America's, if not the biggest, one of the biggest clubs in Mexico.
Yeah.
In the Mexican Soccer League, and they have one of the biggest fan bases. There's a lot of people that live here in San Diego or in LA that are fans of America and Cholos that cannot go watch them in Mexico due to
Immigration. Yeah.
status, right? So anytime there's a friendly and that they can watch their team, they're gonna show out. Even if you're gonna see player number 297, that you're like, who's this guy? You're still gonna go watch him.
And to be honest, like, what a goal!
It was a great goal.
What a goal off of the set piece all the way to the second post.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, America
bringing it
started
back
out
in.
winning this game,
Wild.
and Cholos tied it as well in the first half, so it was good. And then America ended up winning it, so it was an entertaining game as well. But just, I mean, I think what blew my mind more, and I kept texting you and the other boys, is just the atmosphere. And this is what potentially could be in San Diego with MLS, right? Like you can have this. The supporter section looked amazing, packed, and everyone singing with drums and in sync, and
This isn't Snapdragon, guys.
this isn't Snapdragon, and it's very doable. After this match, do I see MLS in San Diego, Tony? The answer is yes.
Yeah.
Do I see it being successful? Yes.
Yeah.
And not only that, like, you're gonna have a big game as well with Manchester United coming this summer, Tony. And there was a big presser today as well, which is a great transition actually to what the news that were out today. Manchester United against Wrexham coming to San Diego in July. This is huge for the city. Like, you have the biggest club in England coming to freaking San Diego. Like,
Absolutely. You know what? You this gets local coverage.
of course it does.
Manchester United is going to be
That's the first time that guy has set Manchester United. I guarantee it. Guarantee it.
Ever.
coming to the U.S. for the first time in 5 years to play the third oldest club in the world.
Do you know when was the last time without looking at a teleprompter? Probably not. I can tell you that.
At Snapdragon Stadium this summer, and Fox 5's Jamie Chambers, who joins us live with what
Have you ever seen that guy at
It's
any other?
Jamie
soccer?
Chambers, bro.
Man.
Jamie Chambers.
It's windy at Snapdragon, especially if you don't go for soccer games. If it's the first time.
Yeah, this is just so exciting. You guys nailed it absolutely.
Okay.
We're sort of the pinnacle of sports right now. Got the Final Four.
Let's
start out a soccer coverage with San
comparing
Diego
with
State
everything not
NCAA.
soccer.
Yeah.
Good old Union Tribune tactic.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Profar, Jerickson
throw in the Chargers in there
Profars,
while you're at it.
Making
damn
it is compared to Alex Moore.
It's frustrating, dude. Like,
Anyway, Manchester United set to play Wrexham here in San Diego, which is gonna is the big time, right? Like this
Yeah,
is
dude, it's gonna be
sure, you might see,
that's gonna be a sellout crowd for sure. It's gonna be sold out. Like that's gonna be 35,000 people. No question about it. Tickets are gonna sell out quick.
I think some people have already started getting those tickets.
Yeah.
So it's going to be Manchester United in San Diego against Red Devils versus Red Dragons. I can't believe I'm excited for a Man U game. It's disgusting. This is going to be
essentially you're gonna get to ask Ten Hag a question, man. You're gonna
I'd
get
much rather it be anybody but a man. Like, ugh. Yeah, I mean, I can. Hey, Ten Hag.
We might get to interview Ryan Reynolds.
I like how you go from Ten Hag to Ryan Reynolds. Hey,
I
Ryan.
mean, Deadpool,
Mint
bro.
Mo-
Like, you
Mint
get to talk
Mobile?
to Deadpool.
Bro, it's the Mint Mobile guy. Fuck you talking
That's
about?
true.
Mint Mobile.
Yeah. Tickets are super expensive. I bet, dude, it's Manchester United. We'll be applying for media credentials, so we don't have to
100%.
pay for those tickets.
100%. This is coming out of
That's
that
gonna
budget.
I'm excited. It's my team. It's Manchester United. I mean, obviously, I'm not gonna wear a Man U jersey to this. By the way, there was local media that was wearing Cholos gear that did not work for the team yesterday, but whatever. It's a friendly, I guess, in the U.S. But yeah, man, it's exciting stuff happening here in San Diego. It's blowing up. We're right at the start of it, Tony.
It was interesting to see what Landon was saying too on the presser, because it was him,
Andy
Cole, and Rob McElhenney, the co-owner of Wrexham, famous for Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Get your fight milk. But essentially, let me see. Like, he was talking about it like. He's obviously speaking for loyal as loyal, but I know he that's that towing the line again. We'll get into it in the next episode, but like, it's crazy. And yes, there was season ticket member early access. There have been some perks between loyal and what's going on with Manchester United and those matches coming up at Snapdragon, but. It's really cool. It's gonna be a really cool experience for San Diegans to be able to see. I know everybody's gonna be really excited. But Landon over here, see if he can whisper into the microphone.
The reason they're successful is because they're built in community, and that is why this sport is so different than other sports. I believe, especially in our country, it is rooted in the community. We've seen with Loyal now. People that I have gotten to know for 6-7 years, I see in the stands every week at USD.
I didn't think I cared about soccer. I didn't think I cared about sports. And now I've watched the docuseries and I realize that I do. And I think what we found with Wrexham is that a lot of Americans saw themselves in the people of Wales.
Call the mayor, guys. It's here. Like, you don't have to look across the pond for it. Like, it's right here.
I hope Andy Cole told out, wait, your team doesn't play in MLS? Because he's just not aware that there's a USL. Well, maybe he does, but
no. I work in championship. Championship teams would probably kick our ass.
And I like to believe that that can happen anywhere.
Manchester United was founded in community. Wrexham for many years has been founded in community. We've tried to do the same thing here in San Diego, where it's a place where you can come and be a part of people who have similar beliefs. And
Ryan Reynolds has a lot more money.
Increasingly binary in the way people look at the world. I think there's a common place where people can come and love this sport. Soccer.
Sure. And it's here in San Diego, and hopefully it stays that way. But it's it's almost like.
The boy Abel's asking, wait, you're not wearing Man United gear, Chiva? If I'm going as media, I can't. It's just the professional thing to do. I will be air clapping the goals for sure, especially if my boy Rashford scores. But no. Same thing. Why I don't wear loyal gear to loyal games or wave gear to wave games. Gotta keep it professional. Same thing if we go to a selección game, not gonna wear selección gear. Like, it's part of the job, right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, if it was Chelsea,
you're like, I would go decked out in blue.
Yeah, I mean,
with that shirt.
Hell yeah. I actually have a. All right.
As we like to wrap up the episode, always with the new segment, right, Tony?
I gotta put the music on.
Oh yes. Are you putting the romantic music?
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
not the romantic.
Let's put y'all. Let's put what should it be? Sports show music.
That's not copyrighted.
Top team. All of this is copyrighted. Energetic rock background music for sports and TV workout videos. Oh, it has a guy working out too. Look at him.
Nice.
All right. But yeah, so oh damn, that's intense.
Yeah, it is.
That is gonna be intense for what's coming up right here. We were gonna go ahead and start a new season of San Diego Wave NWSL on FIFA 23 with players that look nothing like the actual players. There's been a lot of complaints from the players, like, oh, like that's funny, like they have this person. Shame it doesn't look like me, type of thing. Let's see. What do we? An article of clothing. No, an article of about San Diego Waves first home win at Snapdragon. Nope, home win 2023. Right?
Yeah, that's about right. That's the biggest thing.
All right, so
this is gonna be good.
we have our buddy interns working hard, typing up our little elves.
Miguelito's been on a roll this week.
He really has. He really has. So let's see what we have here.
I like this.
This is pretty cool. According to Miguelito and the article database of 2 balls and a mic over on ChatGPT, the San Diego Waves have started the 2023 season on a high note, securing their first home win in a thrilling match against the Arizona Blaze. The Waves had a slow start to the season, losing their first 2 games. All right, they won their first game at home, but they bounced back in style in front of their home fans. The game started with in cagey fashion. Both teams were struggling to create a clear-cut chance. However, the Waves took the lead in the 35th minute along with the striker, through striker Diego Torres.
That's amazing.
Torres, who expertly finished a well-worked team move. The Blaze responded immediately with midfielder Aaron Sanchez, clearly ChatGPT not understanding that the NWSL San Diego Waves team is not a male team, unless it's a very progressive naming athlete names. The Waves came out of firing in the second half, dominating possession, creating several chances. The pressure paid off in the 67th minute when winger Sarah Johnson.
Finally, they got that one right. They got one right.
This is a Vavi league, bro.
Yeah.
This is Vavi.
The league is evolving.
No, Vavi. You ever played Vavi in Pacific Beach?
No.
It's this type of what's it called? It's just a rec league.
Okay.
Like the adults who played kickball.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So Sarah Johnson cut in from the left side and then curled a beautiful shot into the corner to give the Waves the lead. The Blaze fought back bravely, but the Waves defense held firm, with goalkeeper David Rodriguez making several key saves to preserve the lead, and the Waves held a 2-1 win with the sparkling celebrations in front of the fans. Speaking after the game, Wave manager Miguel Hernandez, is that Miguelito's real name? Praised his team's performance, saying, "I'm very proud of the players today. They showed great character and determination to bounce back and 2 tough losses from 2 tough losses. Now here at home in this season, we still have a long way to go, but it's a great start for us."
That's great.
How about we actually translate something? That's fake news. That literally, as you can probably tell, is as fake a news as you can possibly get. So, I mean, I don't know what people think about that. Sorry about that. Hey, we got Remy in the chat. Guest on Chelas con Chavos. Yeah, the boy is wild. Oh, Jerry Ibarra is a Vavi veterano, 100%. If you know, you know. We did have some sound coming out from Miguel El Piojo Herrera, who, managing Cholos right now, former Mexico manager, the eclectic, the Super Saiyan Miguel Herrera was here in San Diego, and our friend Amor Villa, who does a lot of great work.
Work
like
together
this,
with him for this.
Yeah, work together with this sound. So we're gonna go ahead and hear what Miguel Herrera thinks as far as MLS in San Diego. This was the question. The caption says, "El entrenador de Cholos." So the Cholos manager was speaking about the infrastructure of soccer in the United States, and does he think that it's possible that a rivalry can be created here in the San Diego TJ border area? So we'll see. Playback error. No.
Estadio precioso, la verdad que otra vez felicidades porque aquí se hacen estadios muy bonitos.
It's a really cool stadium. It's a really beautiful stadium. It's impeccable. And it's great that it's being used and utilized for a game here for some Liga MX action. It was a great turnout, and it's really beautiful to see. It's just so spectacular to see so many people out here, so many families. And then we come here, we come to put on a show, have a good time. And here Amor is asking, hey, what do you think about San Diego as a possible hub and center for MLS or an MLS team to come in?
Pues buenísima, la verdad es que
oh, really good. It'll be really good. The MLS keeps growing. There's various franchises. If they have this quality of stadiums, then I don't see a problem with that. The people came out, definitely here. And then, yeah, rivalry, sure. You can definitely see us supporting each other. And then, you know, we'll be friends here on the border. And then if it's San Diego, maybe later down the line, we can go ahead and have that be a conversation.
And, you know, to have the support of Pio Herrera, legendary coach. I mean, he coached Mexico in the 2014 World Cup. And, you know, he's coached Cholos before as well. So once he's with Cholos, you see him at Plaza Las Americas and all this stuff, just shopping around, you know. So if he believes in MLS in San Diego, I mean, that's coming from someone that's not very about or knows about the soccer community here yet, but in the largest spectrum, he knows his shit. You know, so I mean, more than this guy. This guy.
I don't think there are secret talks happening. Anyway, the absolute
it's a lot of secrets.
Wait, what did you just say, sir? Sir, what did
Not
you
a lot of secrets.
No, what did you just say? After speaking to
secret talks happening, I don't. No comment, but you saw a little bit of thought back there. I don't know if there are secret talks happening. I don't think there are secret talks happening. Anyway, the absolutely gracious all come down.
Oh, if only you knew, boys.
Friendly match. Tickets are expected to sell very quickly, all scheduled for July 25th. And
Cállese.
Great things happening in San Diego. It's building up to be amazing. Check out the next episode of San Diego Football Weekly coming out tomorrow.
100%. Thank you for everybody who made the time to come on to the stream, hop on in. Thank you to Alan Underwood, the great and powerful Alan, who is a fantastic asset that we have here. Want to say again, thanks to everybody who has supported and you know is chipping into the conversation of San Diego football. Check out sandiego.futbol again, plug, because it's going to be a expose of San Diego soccer in general.
Yeah.
It might have a couple of interesting guests from the San Diego soccer community come in.
Won't be live tomorrow, but it'll be dropping Wednesday, actually.
And if you're lucky enough, you might catch it on Tuesday night after we record. It'll be up. It'll hit your streams. Check that out, because obviously we pissed some people off, and some people got interested too as well on the other side. So more information with that, 100%. We're going to keep it real. Shout out to everybody who has allowed us to keep covering local soccer. You know, gotta give thanks to Soccer's Wave and Loyal in that sense. So thank you guys. Check out the Elijah interview. Fantastic. We will see you on the next one.
Have a good night.